As I travel all through the world in search of the most authentic of ingredients, I come across little places where they are the most unassuming human beings, and they have these flavors with them that have been handed down from generation to generation. I love interacting and creating a twist with AUMcuisine and bringing it to each one of you. Let's explore together. Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of AUMcuisine, authentic, universal, meditative. I'm going to be making a shorba, and as you know, shorbas are soups. They could also be translated into gravy. So this could be used as a soup or a gravy. I just love it as a soup. And even in the Balkan areas and everything, you do find a beautiful tapestry of flavors, and I'm going to do a version which has a little bit of the Middle East, a little bit of India, a little bit of the northern part of Africa, so some coconut oil, some cumin seeds, some bay leaves. Then I'm going to be putting in a few cloves and some stone flour. So you could find all of these spices. They're not very difficult to find. And then I'm going to be putting in some red chili flakes and then an onion. Smells so delightful. There is something about spices in oil and red onions, of course. I'm also going to be putting in the ginger. About a teaspoon and a half would be sufficient. And then I'm going to be putting in a teaspoon and a half of minced garlic. As I always say, it is the Holy Trinity. Most fabulous cuisines in the world do use the red onion, the ginger and the garlic. And I've always wondered why. The onion perhaps to help with immunity, I guess. Beautiful, very, very nice. And the ginger for anti-inflammatory and the garlic for anti-infective. So I'm going to be putting in a little bit of coconut milk and allow all of the spices to marry into that flavor, and then put in some water. Now, as soon as that's done, I'm going to be putting in some cilantro, some cinnamon, and some onion powder. I've always loved the taste of shorba from North India. I've also had some versions of it in my travels in the Middle East, and a version perhaps in Morocco as well. So these are some of my most favorite flavors, and when they come together in the form of a pot of nutrition, there is nothing quite like it. So in this, I have some pureed butternut squash. It's very easy to do that. So what we're really going to be doing is you can either use pumpkin, like an orange pumpkin, or you can use butternut squash, in this case some butternut squash which is freely available in this season, and you boil it up. Allow it to become soft to the touch, and you put it in a Vitamix, and there you have a puree of it. So I'm going to be adding the puree. And because the color is so strong, and there are other things which are used for the anti-infective, anti-inflammatory, and you want the isolated spices to come through, I do not add turmeric to this soup. So I'm going to put the lid on it and allow it to come to a rapid boil. Okay. Wow, that is bubbling up so beautifully. So what we're going to be doing at this juncture is reducing the flame a little bit, adding a little bit more coconut oil along with the coconut milk. Add both of that. And then it's time to add the salt. So some salt to taste and mint leaves. So once that happens, I'm going to puree half of the soup with all of the chunks so that it is more silken and very flavorful. That's all ready to go. Fantastic. So turn that off. It smells absolutely phenomenal. And it's very delicate, the flavor is. So it's time to put this into a beautiful setting. So let's see what we have to offer here. There we have it, a beautiful soup, and I'm going to garnish it with some interesting things. So I'm going to be putting in some mint and a few crackers. You can get crackers, any type of store-bought crackers, some homegrown beets, and some goji berries. Extremely beautiful. And to have a little bit of color, I'm going to be putting in my little bit of the coconut milk. And some cilantro. Beautiful. So, put the lid on and I'll be right back for a taste test. Okay, so time to do a taste test. It's so delicate. I can taste the butternut squash and at the same time all of the different spices dancing together in harmony. Until we meet again in another episode of AUMcuisine. This is Vaidya Priyanka.